that should do it for us right there. There we go. Okay, welcome everybody. So I'm streaming from a service called Restream. So we're streaming to the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, and also our Twitter. And so I have our chat kind of in the middle of in my screen here, so that I can see everyone's conversations from YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. So those on Facebook, I won't be able to see your names, but those on YouTube, I'll be able to see your usernames there. So Lex, hello. Ethan, hello. Sam, yes, you made it in time. Thomas, Zach Stepik, hello, my friend, and everyone in the Facebook group. I should pull up a separate window or something for the Facebook group, because in order to see your name, I have to see you'd have to authenticate with Restream and whatever. Right now, it just says Facebook user. So I'm super excited. A couple updates that I want to share before we get into the actual North Commerce updates is we'll be doing a lot more of these live streams. So whether that's me and a team member or a developer, or me and someone else, in the WordPress community, we'll be doing these. My goal is to do them every week. I might do. Let me know if audio is cutting. Okay. Hello, Emil from Romania. But basically, we'll be doing these weekly, and they'll generally be around the same time every week. But for those of you who are from different countries like Romania or Australia or whatever, then I might do some on different days as well, and then have them be later in the day on my day or earlier in the morning, but most likely later in the day, maybe your morning. So we'll have to figure out when's the best time to organize all those, because I know a lot of the people in the Discord community and on the email list and everything are from different parts of the world. So I want to accommodate you guys as well. Okay, and also we are working on some pretty cool stuff kind of in the background of North Commerce, and so I'm going to show you a couple updates for that, and then today I'm going to show you what you can do right now with North Commerce, so you can get started building your own stores, playing around with North Commerce, maybe finding some bugs at this current phase. So that's what we're doing. We'll do an update with that stuff, and then the QA kind of has two definitions, you could say. We have question and answer. So any questions you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll answer them. And then QA also stands for quality assurance, because who knows what's going to happen during these demos. And so if something wacky happens, a bug happens, then we're having fun, and that's all good. So we'll make it work, and we'll fix those bugs, and then we'll launch V1 as soon as we can. So that's what we're shooting for by the end of the year. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen. Okay. And then let me know if you guys have any questions or anything along the way. These are pretty. I want these live streams to be pretty casual. I'm gonna do the presentation. I'm gonna show you some cool features. If you have feature requests, or you have questions about a feature that I'm explaining, or maybe you want me to expound on a particular portion of the plugin or an e-commerce concept or whatever, just put it in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer. So here's a little demo set that I spun up, and it's pretty simple homepage. I just did it this morning before the live today. And so this is a Divi site. So I chose Divi for really no specific reason other than just I happen to have the Divi theme on my desktop. And so we have just like a simple navigation here with home and the products page, and then we have this little hero image, and then we have these two elements here. So these elements here are just North Commerce shortcodes that I just made last week, and I'm still refining these. We'll kind of figure out what works best for showing products that are just single products, and then products that have variations and different options you can choose from. And so you can basically add these right now to your demo sites if you want it. So I'll go ahead and enable Visual Builder, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. And so as of right now, I have these short codes. We have a pretty good little templating / short code engine that makes it super easy for us to create these. And so if you guys ever have any requests, let me know in the Discord. Like, hey, could we build this? Could we build this and maybe we could whip it up really quick. So basically, the short codes are NC Product Gallery, and this just displays an array of images. I mean, not images, but products, and we'll list their options here: the title of the product, the price of the product, and then whether or not it has options. You'll see that you'll see the different buttons here. Like select options will be you need to select certain variation options, and then if it doesn't, then you can add to cart. So the add to cart currently doesn't work. But yeah, it'll take you to the product page. The carousel right up here, this is done with, what was it? I think it's Flickity. It's done with Flickity. But I know Splide or Slider or Slider.js I think are good. We might even switch to those because I think there's one conflict with Flickity and Elementor that we ran into recently. So yes, we'll have a Printful integration as well, so that you guys can create like dropshipping, all those types of things. Like we want to accommodate where you can spin up sites super easy with all those sort of print on demand services. And so the slider is also just NC product slider, and then I'll add all of these to the documentation. And the reason I really haven't added them to the North Docs already is just because I wanted to tweak a few things. And so I'll add a category here called like short codes, and then I'll have the short code, and then I'll have like an image of what the short code will render. So I'll announce that soon. I'll probably do that today. And then another thing that we'll do is right now what you have to do in order to customize like the color, the background color of the button and stuff like that is you'd have to add some CSS. And so, it's not a problem to add CSS. Once again, you could go to the docs and go to like the global styling variables, and then you would just update this to whatever color you want. So, like the add to cart button would be something you could just adjust right there, and then you could change it to whatever color you want. But what I'll probably end up doing is I might, for the short codes specifically, just while we're working on like our Gutenberg blocks and all that, is I'll add like an attribute here. So inside of the short code, you'll be able to go like button color or something, and then do like a hex code here. So like say I want it to be white, I would just go like FFF for white or something. So I'll probably add that this week as well, just to make it easier, so people can not have to worry about CSS and all that stuff. You just add a little attribute to the shortcode. Okay, cool. How soon? I'm assuming you're talking about the Printful integration. Probably after V1, once we have all of our like systems in place in terms of like automations and orders and shipping services. I suppose you wouldn't need to have shipping services for print on demand. So actually, it could probably be sooner than later, now that I'm thinking about it. How good optimized are those query archives? Will there be a load more button? Yes, so there will be a load more button. And I wonder if I can, okay, I'll just jump into this. I wonder if I have enough products to even make it load more. I don't think so. So they're pretty good. Our query, the way we query data from inside of North Commerce is all done through custom tables, and we have this this sort of mechanism, you could call it, called entity access. And what that does is it allows it kind of abstracts any SQL queries and makes them a lot more efficient. And so the querying data, loading more, adding 10 more or 5 more products to this sort of collection page would be pretty efficient. And we might even do that on the JavaScript side. And so like it would all be done on the client side, and you wouldn't have any sort of reloads or anything like that. It would just add to the array of products, and you could just in essence, instantly see the next set of products as well. Both options would be sweet. I much prefer CSS. Yeah, so you'll still have those options if you wanted to adjust those things. And even now, I mean, you could inspect something and then take the class and then override the class as well. Is it possible to have integrations with Mercado Pago, the most famous payment gateway in Latin America? And will there be a wish list option? So, yes, to the payment gateway, we will have, like one of our top priorities is to integrate with pretty much every payment gateway that's popular within, your country. I think for most people, if like in this case, Mercado Pago, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is the most famous gateway in Latin America, and it has the most users, it has the most adoption, then yeah, that would be a top priority. And then especially as we get more Latin American users for North Commerce, then implementing that would be an even higher priority there as well. So good question. Let me know in the chat really quick, how many of you guys have installed North Commerce, have created a product, and kind of messed around in the admin dashboard? I'm gonna move my camera up here while I wait for you guys. I just want to gauge kind of how like who in the group has messed with it, and then who in the group hasn't, so I can kind of gauge what to show and what not to show. I want to keep this under 30 to 45 minutes, so everyone, I know some it's late for some of you. Okay, so a few of you have. So I'll run through it really quick then, so I don't have to go too low level. But basically, you have all of your orders here, and there's different types of statuses for your orders. And so what happens is really cool. So let me do a little demonstration here for orders specifically. So if I go into products, and I'll just go to this product here, and then I'll add it to my cart. And so this is kind of like what it would look like if a user goes to your store and begins to check out. So I would type in my email address. So let's just say, livestream@demo.com. I'll hit enter. And what you'll see is that I'm already starting to get something new here from someone creating an order. So if I click into this order, I'll see that I am at livestream@demo.com for the product that I'm purchasing right now. The status of this order is created, and the payment status is unpaid. So if I was to just completely abandon my cart at this point, I would still have the customer's email address to follow up with them for an abandoned cart follow up, or whatever I need, so I can remarket to those people. Okay, so some of you are saying not at all, you haven't played with it. Is there any way to contribute your product as an official partner? We have a small development team and looking forward to new challenges. Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord and then let me know that you're interested, and maybe we could talk. I've not installed that. I'm looking for a solution that will be best suited for just a few products. Who seems like overkill. Is North lightweight enough? Yes, absolutely. So I think out of the box, you get just the core features of North, and you don't have to worry about any of the extra bloat. So if you wanted to sell a couple of products, that's perfect. If you even want to sell products like on a single page checkout form, you could do that as well with the single page checkout forms. You can use that right now if you wanted. And basically what that is this this sort of single column checkout form where you can sell a product at a time. So it's usually kind of like what you'd see on a sales page or something. So depending on what type of products you have, you could use that, or you could use the traditional e-commerce checkout flow. Okay, so when I'm going through a checkout, you can get the customer's information as they're going through the process. And so you don't have to get any extra plugins for abandoned carts or to collect emails at a certain time. And basically, once you get an email, then you're able to start the order creation, and then you can see kind of where that person is throughout the entire process. So if I know they haven't entered their shipping address or their billing address, then I know kind of where they abandoned their cart. But if I continued forward with this, I could type in my name. So let's just say Kelly Miro, and then I can type in a fake phone number, and then I'll do like a fake address, and then if I hit save and continue, and then I refresh this here, then you'd see the shipping address appears right there as well. So we're, instead of sending a huge massive request as well once you're checking out of all this customer data, we're breaking it up into pieces so that we can one, collect everything and from the customer so that we can follow up with them if they do abandon their cart, and two, we can lighten the load on the servers so that we're not making a million requests or these big gigantic requests to the server to post to like complete the order. Are subscriptions handled well in its current state? As of right now, subscriptions are handled well when it comes to the single page checkout forms. So I can show that in a minute if you want as well. But if you want to sell a subscription as on the single page checkout form, then you totally can, and those are handled great. That's how we handle our licensed subscriptions, and so that's we're currently using that. Digital download products are coming soon. That's sort of like Ben, my developer, who has built the database and the custom table stuff. He's working on how we want to create the relationship between a ecommerce customer and a WordPress user, a logged in user. And so once we figured that relationship out, which we have a pretty good idea of how we want to do it, we just have to implement it and then test it, then digital downloads and digital products will come shortly after that. Can we just add ecommerce add to cart button on a service page? As of right now, you can't, but you would be able to soon. Basically, what you would do is you would add a ecommerce button, and that link to that button would be to like the checkout page with like this little query param that would be like let's say it was like this, and then I would have like product ID equals like some ID or something. So then you could just have a button and it would take you straight to the checkout page. In the case of like a service page, I would honestly recommend using the single page checkout form. And then someone could just, select a service, then the single page checkout form just appears on that same page, and then they just fill out their information, and then you can charge for that service or like have them subscribe to a service or whatever. Does the app search addresses so that the customer can't add a fake address? Oh, wait, I skipped a question. Do you see ecommerce competing with ThriveCart? I guess in a sense it would compete with ThriveCart because we have like the single page checkout forms, but I think ultimately we'll like compete with WooCommerce as more of an e-commerce solution, in addition to the e-commerce solution have sort of these sales page checkout forms and these upsells and order bumps and things like that. So in a way it could, I guess, be considered a competitor of ThriveCart. And then inside of these are great questions, you guys. And so like I could go through my presentation, or I can answer your questions, and I'd much rather answer your questions. So this is perfect. But if you go to integrations, you'll see here there is a Google Place autocomplete. And so if you add an API key from your Google Developer Console, then you'll have autocomplete enabled. And then when you're on the checkout, you would begin to type the address, and then there would be suggestions that would come. Depending on what country you're in, sometimes it's not that great, but yeah, if you're in the States, I know it works really, really good, and then parts of Europe as well. Good question. Okay, so kind of going through the rest of the checkout flow, you would just go in here, and right now this is using Stripe, and what we're going to be able to do is, which if you guys are using Stripe, you'll have access to all the Stripe payment solutions. So the pay-as-you-go solutions, the adding your bank account, the pay or buy now, pay later solutions. And so I would go in here, I'll just add a test card here, and then you can see how this all works. So the customer would go type in their information, save and continue, and then place your order, and then that's it. They're done. The order's been placed. It redirects to the thank you page with a little receipt. And this is just a small little template. I gotta update the short code for this as well. But that's as fast as the checkout experience is for North. It works in Canada too. Can I import Woo products into North? Yeah, so that's a good question. A handful of people have been asking me too about importing Woo products or migrating subscriptions over or reviews and things like that. And we will have a migration tool, so you can move things over from Woo to North Commerce super easy. One caveat of that is it'll be difficult for us to accommodate all the different types of WooCommerce data from third-party solutions. And so, like, if you're using classic Woo subscriptions or Woo products is a core feature of Woo, we could migrate those over easily. If you're using some additional plugin to manage your products as well, we may not be able to guarantee like a super perfect migration. So, like, say for example, you use WooCommerce's core attributes and what do they call? What's the other thing they call them? To create the variation options for Woo. I can't remember the other thing. You have to have attributes, then you have another thing. I can't remember. But if you're using something extra for that, like you need to manage price or there's certain logic about if you buy 2 of these products, the price goes down. Like things like that, we might not be able to migrate over. But like the core data of Woo, we'll be able to accommodate that. We'll be able to redesign the receipt page, right? Yes, 100%. So whether that's in our own little editor or just using something like the Gutenberg blocks, you'll be able to customize those, change the styling. In essence, let me show you this really quick. It's really just a short code, and so if so in checkout thank you, if I can go edit with Divi, I can add anything else. I can add anything else around the short code. It's just NC checkout thank you. So if I wanted to add a bunch of extra copy or some other images or whatever, then I could do that around the short code. Ultimately, we'll have like an editor or like the Gutenberg block, so you can edit each individual element, which I think will be really, really nice. And then also we get all the information of what product they purchased and the IDs of those products. And so we can even set up some logic that says like, hey, after on the thank you page, let's do a post-order upsell or something. And we have the ID of the product they purchased. So we know maybe a similar category or a similar product that relates to that. So let's upsell them on that product. So I think that could be cool. But yeah, the answer is yes, you'll be able to customize that and even do more. Will you contact Softfly about importing to North Commerce, or you want your own importing? If someone wants to help contribute to the import, I think that would be, I'm not opposed to that as well, but I haven't talked to them yet. And we're finishing up the core features of North right now. So migrating is a priority because we want to move people over from Woo to North really, really easily. But as of right now, it's not been, we haven't started those conversations. That was my next question. So if variables like discounts for 2 or 1, do you have a solution or a third-party app? Yeah, so our coupon code system will have the logic to do that. So like you can do, you can set rules on certain products where like, you can do buy 1, get 1 free, or buy X, then, Y, then this happens with Y, whether that's a discount or a free offer or whatever, you'll be able to do that. Can I use it for bookable products like hotel booking? So this is a good question because we have, I had a conversation with Paul, the CEO of WooCommerce, and was lucky to chat with him. And one of the things we talked about was like, what would you recommend I tackle that WooCommerce just couldn't do? at least themselves as a core plugin. And restaurants and booking were one of the, like restaurants and like hotel booking or like appointment booking was like at the top of their list. And so I don't think that there might be a way to manage that for hotel bookings. It would just depend on like the use case specifically. Like if you were running like a small bed and breakfast and it's relatively easy to manage your availability and your inventory in rooms, you could potentially do it. But as of right now, there's not like a specific solution for hotel booking, but you could most likely like piece something together if it's a smaller like hotel or like a bed and breakfast. But if we see that as something that like we could build for somebody and offer it as a service, then I think that'd be awesome. Vacation homes at multiple cities and multiple properties in a city. So similar to like Airbnb sized houses maybe. Then yeah, it could be an option. And then I guess in theory, like it would just take a little bit of time to set up, or maybe you can set up something like in a Google Sheet or something and import the CSV of options, and then the availability would be just an option. So for the whole year, and so that could be interesting. And then you just set the inventory to 1 for each day or something. How about analytics other than GA4? I use a privacy-based analytics tool. How are you addressing accessibility? Okay, so that's great. That's a great question. So we'll have Google Analytics or GA4, the new version. We'll be able to we'll integrate with them. There's other interesting tools that are out there right now in terms of analytics and also like server-side tracking for ads. So like what's the there's one for Shopify. Do you mean like there's like what is that tool called? Fandom, or are you specifically asking about Google Analytics alternatives that are privacy based, or are you talking about like anything specific? Or are you just saying like specifically what have we thought about in terms of analytics in general, like even for North Commerce ourselves? And then how are we addressing accessibility? So yeah, we connected, Fathom. Yeah, thank you. So there's this one, which is really good. I've used this one before. And so I've used Fathom. I think they're great. I don't think that there's a ton of work we have to do on our end in order to be compatible with them. I think you can set up events here based on like CSS classes, and add event listeners and things like that. So yeah, like, I would recommend using Fathom. I think they're a great service, and they would sort of like inherently be compatible with North, based on just how they implement stuff. There's another one. There's another server-side analytics tool that connects with Facebook, and it's escaping me, but if Ethan's still here, he would know. But Pixel Your Site. I'm talking. There's another developer in a Slack group I'm a part of that has built some analytics tools that I've messaged a little bit too. So we do want to accommodate that. I think that there's other ones like Triple Whale, I think it is called. I haven't used this one yet. I think they're really great. So this is an analytics tool that will like help with like attribution for Facebook and Instagram ads. I think they're specifically. I think they use. I think they connect with Shopify and BigCommerce and maybe WooCommerce as well right now. And so yeah, things like Triple Whale, where you can track your customer's journey from first ad to organic social to an actual purchase, and then kind of know what returns you're getting. Would be an awesome tool as well. Excuse me. So yes, good questions. I think we will accommodate those people. And if you have suggestions, then yeah, absolutely. Hi, Justin. Plausible and Matomo. I've never heard of those, Matomo, but yeah, like if you guys want to suggest other analytics tools, or we can figure out if they're just inherently compatible, then we can definitely use those. Perfect. I'm just gonna get a drink of water really quick. Will it support user reviews? Yes, 100%. So you'll be able to. So first of all, you'll for sure be able to import over reviews from WooCommerce if you have them. That's sort of a given. And review data structures are pretty simple. I think in terms of, I guess it could get more complex, but generally I think you have like the user, whether or not they've actually purchased the product, their their actual review, and then just regular data about maybe the time they posted it and stuff like that. And so yes, if there's something like where you need to like maybe a review is referencing which product they purchased, and it's and the IDs are different from like Woo to North now, then there might be some issues there, but generally we'll migrate over, and we'll have our own review system as well. And so the cool thing about, so this is like the most exciting part about building on WordPress, is that like we don't have to worry about infrastructure for like hosting. Like Shopify has to worry about all sorts of different things when it comes to their hosting, load balancer, security, spinning up new Shopify stores and all that stuff. What we get to focus on at North is like just features for the plugins, and then all the hosting services get to, the Cloudways of the world get to focus on all the infrastructure on that side. And so what we can do is build really cool, complex review systems where there's some intelligence to the reviews, where someone purchases a product, a couple days later, you can set a custom time. A review will go out, and whether or not they hit 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 stars, something different will happen based on each sort of thing. And then you're collecting reviews more efficiently, or you're helping customers more efficiently based on the review that they've hit. Like say they do a 2-star, that'll immediately take them to like a customer service conversation or submission. And if they hit 5 stars, then it takes them to the actual product review page and all that kind of stuff. So, and it'll link their product, it'll link their order, like their order ID, so it knows who purchased it, and it confirms if it's true or not, if they want to upload an image or a video. There's all sorts of really, really cool stuff we can do with reviews, and we do plan on doing that. And accessibility, yes, I forgot to answer that question earlier. Will it be easy to access the code for products, images, etc., to add ARIA tags, etc.? Yes. So as of right now, what will happen, like for V1, you will, whatever products created, will add dynamically. We'll add the product information and the titles and things like that to the product itself, like in the ARIA tags. Any other descriptors or whatever that we need to make it as accessible as possible. But what the question it sounds like you're asking is, can you update those like tags yourself besides doing it dynamically? Is that right? Like you want to be able to adjust what's said versus being like, okay, well, like say this product is called like logo PNG. We would use that as the the title for the tag for images. Are you wanting to go in here and be able to add your own, like in the alt text, or is that your question? Because if that's the case, then yes, you would be able to go into the WordPress like media manager here and just type in like logo, Nike logo or whatever, and you could update that. So good questions. So yes, that's right. Okay, yeah. So then yeah, you'd be able to go into alt text and adjust that and everything else. But then the rest of the stuff would sort of like dynamically be added to the HTML so that it would be accessible. And so luckily I was able to meet a few really, really great people at WordCamp in San Diego this year, and we talked a lot about accessibility. And so we have some partners that will help us make sure that North is completely accessible and easy to use. So I'm learning that it's also illegal to or it's illegal, but you could potentially, get sued and have some legal issues if you're not completely accessible and someone's having a hard time navigating your site. So we definitely want to accommodate those people, and then also in turn, we want everybody to be able to purchase products from your store, and so we'll definitely accommodate. Okay, so that's orders. The checkout's completed. The status would basically change. There was a small little bug here with one of our automations since we've updated some product variation logic, and so we'll fix that today. I just realized that today when we were when I was doing some demos. But yeah, basically this would be marked as paid, and then this would be marked. I'll show you guys. This will be marked as unfulfilled, and then when you print out your shipping label, or if you maybe you're a local store or bakery and you want someone to pick it up, you could set a status of ready for pickup, and that would send out an email notification letting them know like, hey, your order's ready to pick up, and then once they came, they would pick up. Or if you have a shipping service, then it would just go mark as fulfilled. So we'll accommodate everyone there when it comes to like every type of business as well. And then if it's a digital product, then it would automatically be marked as fulfilled, because they would just access the data access the digital product right after their purchase was completed. Okay, good question so far, you guys. This is awesome. So if I've missed anyone's question, I don't know if Restream actually brings in Twitter questions or not, but I think the main activity is Facebook and YouTube. So if you're on Twitter and I missed your question, I'm so sorry. And then so for those of you who haven't seen or haven't played around with, I'm going to move myself over a little bit more, who haven't messed with North Commerce yet or haven't started using it, you can add products, and there's 3 different product types: one-time, subscription, and payment plans. And we'll create and you can create your product there. When will the first version of North Commerce be released to the public? So V1 we're shooting for a beginning of next year in January, and that'll have everything you'd need to end-to-end create an entire store and sell products, fulfill products, sell digital products, and have them sign up for an account and all that stuff. Will Square be integrated? Yeah, I've looked at Square, and I think we'll have Square as an option to purchase. There is so my background is in like the beauty industry. I've done a lot of client work for the beauty industry, and a lot of these people use Square at their salons, and then but they do want to sell stuff online, and so to integrate Square's payment solution and also their inventory management solution, you could manage products from Square, and it would sync with North Commerce, so that their like retail products in the salon would also match what's available on the website as well. And so yeah, I think that there is a good use case for that, and that's something that we want to do as well. So when it comes to products, you can create subscriptions. So you would be able to set up subscriptions at whatever price you wanted. So $25 in this case a week. You can set it monthly or yearly. If you wanted to add a free trial option, you can do that as well. So maybe you have a subscription, but you want the first 7 days to be free, or the first 14 days to be free. You can do that as well, or even maybe the first year to be free or something like that. You have that option to add a full add a free trial. Or if you want to say, the first month is, $5, but then after that it's $25 a month, then you can do that as well. Modomo is self-hosted. I'll have to look into that. That'd be great. Will Aiden be available in future as well? Aiden, I'm not sure what Aiden is. Is that another analytics tool, another payment method, or let me know what that is. But yeah, I'll have to look at Modomo. Nazim. Interesting. Good analytics tools can like transform your business, and so I'm always for that. And then bump pricing. So we have order bumps. If you're not familiar with an order bump, what that is basically is at checkout, you have a little request for an order bump. So I think I might even have an example of that here. Let's see. No, maybe I might not have it anymore. I don't, unfortunately. But an order bump is basically at checkout, you get you show a small offer to a customer that are about to check out, something that might supplement their current purchase, and it's usually ranges from anywhere from like $7 to $100 or something, and then they can just click the a radio button to add it to their order, and then the goal is to increase the average order value of a purchase. So you'll be able to add the bump pricing like this. So instead of having to create duplicate products, one for being a regular product and then one for being an order bump, you would just set the logic for the order bump here. So like this is $25 as a regular product, but if it's an order bump, then you can make it $10, and then you can set the terms here if you wanted for each of those things. Hockey stack for analytics, please. Okay, cool. That'd be great. I'd love to look into that. Right now, I use Wave apps to invoice clients for monthly care plans. Is this possible with North and then integrate with Wave? So is Wave just specifically an invoice solution? Because if that's the case, then you would be able to just do that in North Commerce. You could create a customer manually, and then you could either create. So say in this particular customer, this is a customer I've created. If you want to invoice them, you can just create an invoice and then send it to them. And if you wanted to do it monthly, then you just put them on a subscription and then have them manually pay each month straight from North. Using a payment method from the Netherlands like Molly. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I know. So we have Molly available. That seemed to be the most popular request within that part of Europe. And so that's what we are using as of right now. How it will be executed in page builders like Bricks, Oxygen, etc. Shortcodes. Yeah, so as of right now, we'll be using shortcodes. So you can add any shortcode you want to your page builder, Oxygen, Bricks, Divi, Elementor, or whatever, and then it will just render from there. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry, I'm coughing for some reason. I don't know what it is. All the talking, I think. So it's for accounting too, so pushing the info from North into Wave so I can reconcile the books. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I'll have to look into that and see what we can do. So this is good. This is good information. What about taxes? Will it be possible to manage them? Yes. So we had looked into TaxJar for the tax solution, and I'm wondering if that is still the best option. I've heard some things about it not being fully compliant in every European country, and so I'll do some more research with that, but that'll come shortly after V1 as well. As of right now, what you can do is like generally set up a tax amount, a tax percentage. And this will kind of have, this is sort of like a general implementation. It doesn't have too much logic to set based on each state or each country or whatever. So, but as of right now, you can put in a tax percentage, and then it would calculate the tax of 12% on the current order. But yeah, taxes will be more robust, and then we'll also do like VAT validation and things like that. What about after importing thousands of products to Woo, needs to update its lookup tables and whatnot, so importing is slow, and to see the changes is again taking time. What about North Commerce? Yeah, so I'd love to test this and see, but with our custom tables solution, we don't have to do a lot of the things that like the WordPress tables or post types would have to do. So I haven't exactly tested importing 1,000 products. I guess we could I could run a script right now if you guys want to see what happens. I don't know what would happen. but we could see. Changes to DB will be reflected on the front end right away. Caching and lookup tables are nightmare and woo, not actual data for customers. Yeah, so you just clear the cache for us. Like we still would, we would still use like I think. Let me see where it shows it. So like we have caching enabled on North, so basically you could use all of the classic caching tools, so like Redis Cache, W3 Total Cache, all these. I don't know where the actual, I wonder where the actual, that's not the right link, the documentation is, but yeah, so we're kind of following WordPress's standard for caching, and so like we'll cache all the requests and everything, and then and if you have like a change or something, then you would clear the cache and you would see it right away. So it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I hope it's not Corona. In the EU, we have different taxes. Even in the Netherlands, we have multiple taxes based on products. Yeah, so that's interesting. I am going to reach out to. So I know Germany has some interesting implementations that need to happen. And so like Netherlands too, I suppose. So I'll probably end up hiring some professionals to help me implement like the best, most correct way to calculate things. So if it's like a subscription product, you need to have these specific sets of things. If you're selling, this type of product, then you have this tax. If you're selling this type of product, you have this. So we want to cover all those things. And then maybe like for those who are in those specific countries, they could activate some additional like tax features that then they could go into like a product and adjust things, like accordingly based on a specific product or a specific category in the product or something like that. So good question. All those things are definitely on our roadmap, but like they're a lower priority right now as we finish the core features. What do you think about SureCart compared with North? So I think SureCart is awesome. I think it's a great solution. I think it's a great SaaS. Like it's built on their own servers. It's not like nothing's hosted on your WordPress instance. It sounds like your own database. But yeah, I think it's great. I don't think it's necessarily like a full competitor to North. I think they mainly are tackling smaller stores and maybe like more sales page stuff. I think that's sort of their expertise is like funnels and things like that, like from their other plugin they've had. So yeah, I think it's awesome. Slovakia too should be able to customize on product level. Yeah, so those types of things we need to look at. So yeah, so taxes we'll kind of learn what countries there's more specific needs for each country, and then you can do that. Will we have radius filters for restaurant orders? For example, we only will deliver within 5 miles. Yes, so if you go into settings and go to shipping and delivery, you will have a local delivery and local pickup option. Those are coming soon. But that'll be awesome. I wonder if I can show you really quick. I think this is worth sharing. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. I'm on another screen just looking at this really quick so I can make sure I'm showing the right things. I wonder if I have it on here. So basically what we're looking at here is all the shipping zone mockups here. Okay, here it is. So we have the local delivery shipping option. And what will happen is you can do kind of a number of things. So you can set rules based on a particular delivery radius. And the delivery radius is based off of where you're setting your home office or your warehouse, or in this case, like your restaurant location would be. So you would add a new address. You would type the address here, and then all of that would be based off of, and then the radius would be based off of how far that their address is from that home address you set inside the shipping profile. And so you can set up a delivery zone in miles or kilometers or whatever, And then you can also set minimum order price and maximum delivery price and things like that. Like if there's an extra fee for delivery, or you can do it based on zip code or postal code. You'll have that option as well. So that's coming soon. That's coming soon as well. That'll probably come out around the same time as digital products will, once we've like the core kind of logic and automations are done for that. Okay, not my server, so not for me. We'll wait for North then. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's why we use North. I mean, that's why we use WordPress in general. It's like we get control over everything, and that's nice, and it feels good. What about integrations for Airtable and Google Sheets? 150% yes. We'll have that. Right now we have Zapier, and they're not here. I need to add them, but we have Zapier and Pabbly Connect done as well. Will be LTD? If the answer is yes, please reconsider your decision. Please don't do it. No LTD. Yes, as of right now, I do have the LTD available still. So there's the yearly subscription here for a certain different license, and then there's the unlimited license for $450. I'll probably be expiring this pretty soon. Now that some things are changing, and we're doing things a little differently in terms of our offer and our partnerships with different people. So we'll most likely expire that soon. But I'm going to give everyone a fair chance to get that, since it's been around. But I mean, technically it's been around all summer too. So if you miss it, then you missed it. I do agree that LTD is never the way, but you know, in certain situations we got to do it. If we set a subscription in North Commerce and we connect with Stripe, a recurring payment will be created in Stripe when the customer finishes the checkout. Yes, 100%. So let me show you this. I got to pull up the right Stripe account. So give me a second. I'm just off screen for a second. And I'll show you this. It'll work. I'll show you in terms of like a regular product, but what's going to happen is it's still going to work the same as a subscription. So let me just log into Stripe really quick. It's making me authenticate again for some reason. I just logged in. And I know we're hitting the hour mark now. This has been great. So I'm still good to keep going if you guys are. And I know I want to respect some of your guys' time zones. I know it's probably later. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to this dev. Where is it? Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to switch back so I can see everybody. Whoops. Okay, so I'm answering this question right here. If you set a subscription in North Commerce and we connect with Stripe, a recurring payment will be created in Stripe when the customer finishes the checkout. So right here we have our payments. And so what happens with Stripe is we have to create a payment intent. So inside of here, I can add to cart. I'll type in some information. So let's just say, who asked this question? Email. So I'm going to do email@ask.com. And then I'll just do demo tests. And we'll add, I don't even think I need to add anything. Yes, I do. Okay, 1-1. And if you have like digital products, of course, you won't have to type an address unless you really want them to. Okay, so what happens here is the payment intent has been created, but it's marked as incomplete because the customer hasn't paid yet. And so, so what I'll do is I can go in here. I can see this. Okay, cool. This is all demo and incomplete. But I can type in my credit card information, and then I can place the order, and then go to the thank you page. And then if I refreshed, the incomplete status now changes to succeeded. The card has been added, the charge has been made. And then in your particular case, the subscription one would begin then, if that's what the terms were set for, and you would be able to manage your subscription right there inside of Stripe. Or if you wanted to manage the subscription in like their customer screen, you could do that as well. So good question. If we buy unlimited site license, can we use our clients as well? The answer to that is yes. As of right now, 100%. If you have an unlimited site license, you can use it for your clients as well. We do ask, like in our terms of service, not to share it with like other agencies or other people, like other developers. But if it's your client, you can use it on your client's site. You mentioned on Discord that you are testing REST API. Will it be robust enough so that we can integrate NorthCommerce with some custom in-house software invoicing? Yes, 100%. It will be robust enough. We've been doing some tests, and we're doing some tests with a hosting service right now, and that's exciting. And so we'll have like official numbers soon. The REST API is looking really good. If you're interested in the REST API, you can install the plugin and then go to API docs. And here you'll have a list of all of the tables, what schema version you're currently on. So in this particular case, it's version 20, and then you have all the tables, and then all the expandable references. So let me kind of explain that really quick. So inside of products, we have our core fields in the products database table. And that's what these are right here. So we have created by, we have SKUs, product type IDs, name, description, all of that. But what happens here is we have this expandable reference. So instead of doing a number of things, instead of one, having to create your own endpoints, creating and writing your own SQL queries, I guess you still could, but instead of having to do that, what you do is you get the core stuff that you need, and then if you want to expand on something like product images, product options, product variants, product tags, all of that stuff, you can just simply add that as a query parameter, and then then you just get that in the response as well now. And so it's super flexible. It helps keep things lightweight. You're only getting what you need, and we sort of abstract away from this idea of like you have to write your own SQL queries, and maybe you're a front-end dev and you don't know how to do that, or you don't know how WordPress works, the tables, and you're like you're just not sure how to do it. So we're offering that sort of abstraction so that you can just pick and choose what you want in terms of like expanding other tables. So yeah, to answer your question and make a long answer even longer, yes, you can totally use NorthCommerce's REST API in custom in-house software, and it's very robust. And the cool thing too about the REST API is all of this lives inside of what's called our entity access. That's kind of what that abstraction is. And what else lives there is our security and our our filtering logic. So basically what will happen is any security changes we make, the REST API will also inherit those. And so it's super flexible, and it's really, it makes things a lot easier. Will this video be uploaded? Yes, Justin. I'm probably gonna wrap this up soon. We're hitting the hour mark. But yes, we'll have it uploaded. It should automatically be added to YouTube after the stream ends. Excuse me. Please explain to me that this. I'm not an expert coder. Can you explain the technique you built NorthCommerce? Its performance is phenomenal. So I owe a lot of that to Ben and Dima, my developers. They're really, really wonderful. Ben has sort of built this entire, the entire like schema and database structure, and then also this sort of this abstraction, or this kind of ORM type thing that we have for the server-side API / the REST API. Basically, this isn't like necessarily like a new technology or anything like in terms of doing this. I think a lot of like CRMs, and where you're managing lots of data and lots of different data types, will do this where there's there's lots of different tables, and these, like, one table will reference another table, and then you can kind of create these really, really cool modular systems, so you can collect data with only the data you need. So if you're not an expert coder or a coder at all, I could say to you, okay, here, copy this code into your functions.php or whatever, because you want to render some data in a short code. Then it's like, okay, cool. And then I say to you, okay, cool. And if you ever want to add something extra to that, all you have to do is just add a add a comma after the last thing in this area, and just copy and paste this right here. Copy and paste that into right after the comma, and now you get product types, or now you get product images, and you can access that directly in the shortcode or the custom whatever you want. And so that's really cool. It seems that North Commerce is on the right track. I like it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, I think that I know a lot of people are like thinking, like, have said to me, like in the Discord too, like, man, like when are you going to release this? Like, this is taking forever. Like, development is taking so long, all those things. It's like, yes, it is taking a long time, but I think what we're doing is really, really innovative. I think what we're doing is, we're doing the right things now, so that we can have all those things will pay dividends in the end, and it's going to help you. It's going to help us in development. It's going to help third-party developers. It's going to help agencies. It's going to help the freelancers have all these tools they need to build a successful business with North, building e-commerce stores for clients that convert and that are fast, that scale automatically, and that do all these things. One thing, I don't know if Zach Stepik is still here or not, but there's one thing, I don't know if I even merged it on this branch yet, but let's just do a shot in the dark. This might be the last thing I show, just because I know we're getting to like the hour mark. So let's see here if I do this. I'm not entirely sure this will work because I don't think I merged this branch, but I think I did, but like not 100% sure. Okay. So I'm going to add something to the functions.php here. Okay, Zach. So this was inspired by Zach. Just so you guys know, Zach Stepik is a great developer. He's at Cloudways right now. But one of the things that we did kind of based off of his work was creating this templating engine where every single thing in North Commerce that is built or whatever is a template. I wonder if this is even set up to. Can I add this in without a child theme right now in this particular context? Let's see here. I don't know why it's infinitely loading. I might not be able to show it, but I will have to make a video. But in essence, what happens is every single component inside of North Commerce is a template that makes up the entire page here. So like, for example, this row for customer, for an order would be a template. In products, this, I think now we're getting something this here. I'm gonna leave that. And then, in the products as well, if I go into products, like each little section is its own little template here. And then what happens is all of those templates are hookable. So I wish I could show that example, but I don't know if it's because of my particular local instance or whatever. I'm not able to add that. But you'll be able to hook into any sort of template you want. So if I say I'm a third-party developer and I want to add something to the product page, I can develop my plugin and then hook right into right above the inventory, or right under the inventory, or right after the tags, or right above the categories, or right above the tags, or even right after this. If I wanted to templatize this, I could do that as well. Most likely, each template will be its own little block here, but everything will be hookable so that you can add anything wherever you want, in essence. And then it gives us the flexibility as developers for North to be like, oh, cool. So here's what's happening on the checkout page. What I can do now is I can, like, for example, if I wanted to create like maybe like a plugin or add-on to show, like, add a couple more items to your cart to get free shipping or something like that, then I can virtually add that anywhere, and I could even have some customizations for the end user to be like, I want it to be after the shipping or above the shipping or above this or above that. And so you have full control over where anything is going to go with hooks. And so it's pretty cool. I'll have to do a separate demo for that when I can get it working. I don't think I merged the branch, and then I don't know if for some reason I couldn't add that PHP in that. It was just infinitely loading. So pretty cool. The Discord is, if you go to northplugins.com and scroll down to the bottom, you'll be able to join the Discord right there. So I wish we had a custom URL, but maybe we can do that. I don't know. But as of right now, it's just a random string of letters and numbers. But just go to the northplugins.com and you'll be able to add yourself to the Discord just by clicking there. If you don't have an account, it'll have you create an account really quick. It's easy. What would be the best template to work with North Commerce? I hope it's compatible with Bricks Builder. So we'll probably end up building like starting points for every single like major builder. But what's going to happen, I think, is, or what I want to see happen is for us to create these block themes and have a bunch of different patterns that you can use. And this will probably end up being on the pro version of North. And then you basically would have like everything you'd want for in a theme in an e-commerce store, but you can customize it with the block editor. So like imagine like I think I had store.northplugins.com was like a more complete looking store. So like this could be a section or a pattern inside of the block builder or the block theme that we'd make. Then you could customize the text, the button color, and all that stuff. Maybe align it a little differently if you want. Change the background image of the hero. This would be its own block where you have like this, this sort of section here where you're able to have different categories and to show like the top 3 images in a category, and same with like this kind of stuff. So in essence, we would have like each section of an e-commerce store would be its own little pattern or block or something, and then you could edit that and it'd be blazing fast, and then as Gutenberg blocks and the block editor evolves, we might see some really interesting things come out of that. But yeah, and then we'll have your Bricks Builder themes, starting points. We'll have the the Divi, the Elementor, all those things. We'll have starting points for those once we kind of finalize everything. So yeah, do you plan to add customizable subscription periods, e.g. every 6 weeks? Yes, so we probably can. We can do that for sure, but it also varies a little bit based on the payment provider. Like, so say Stripe, Molly, PayPal, Authorize.net, whatever. Sometimes there is limitations when it comes to that for subscriptions, and I don't necessarily want to manage the subscriptions on the server side end, because if something goes down on your WordPress instance or something happens, then that automation might not run, and so then you're kind of screwed. But like with Stripe and with those kind of things, like PayPal and the major ones, like it should be no problem setting up custom subscription periods, but it may not work for every single payment method, and that will be the limitation, I think. So that's a great question, actually. Okay, how about generate blocks? Yeah, I think we'll generate blocks is another good example of one we could do. One we could use and have a starting point for there, and use sort of like their standards, and our patterns could be compatible. Our blocks are still would be compatible with most builders, and then most other like block builder tools out there too, like Quickly and Generate Blocks and those kind of things. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna end the stream. I appreciate everyone's participation. This has been awesome. Most likely every Thursday I'll do a live and kind of show you what we've been working on, or answer questions, or maybe show you something cool that's maybe like a nuance of North that I didn't get to show this time, or maybe you have a specific question I can answer. That'd be great. Is there any last minute questions or comments or thoughts before we end the stream? I can wait a second or two here if you have any questions. I know it takes a minute to type and then send it off. But I guess while you can, if you do want to purchase a license for North, you can do so. There is a free version of North Commerce, so you don't have to purchase a license. But if you do want to support the project, if you do want to purchase a lifetime license, so that when we do release all of our pro versions and also get to V1, you'll have a lifetime license when that completely goes away forever. So you can do that, northplugins.com/pricing, and I appreciate everyone participating. I'll have more interactions in the Facebook group too, but also join me on Discord. I love using Discord because we can kind of chat in real time. Can you use default WP queries to query North products? No, because we're in custom tables, so it'll be a little different than your classic like WP queries or different post types. So we have a really easy way to query North Commerce products, though, that anyone or any builder can implement, or you yourself could even add to your functions.php file and query something and make a short code or whatever you wanted. So great questions. Look forward to talking to you. I would be interested to talk to the guys at Bricks and stuff like that and see like there'd be like a specific, so it's the same sort of thing we would do, but we're querying a slightly different with North's server side API, we're calling it. So like it would be the same thing in essence, but like you're just hitting our entity access versus like your standard WP query post type stuff. So great question. I'll have to look into that and see what we can do in terms of like connecting with those guys and see if that's something we can add or not. So great questions. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything. You guys are awesome. Good questions. And we're excited to be building North for everyone. And we'll have a lot more releases soon. So appreciate everything. Thank you so much, you guys.